Hello and welcome to the Newcastle Club and Squad Guide. In this episode we're going to go through Newcastle, we're going to check out their finances, we're going to see what they've got to spend, how much their wage budget they're using. We're also going to look into what the actual board require you to achieve this season to see if that's, if you don't want to get sacked, so see what they want from you. Also, we'll look into the under-18s team, see if there's any little gems that are going to come through that might make the grade at Newcastle, and then also do the same with the under-21s. And then lastly, we'll go through the squad and see what the squad is like, see where it needs to be improved, players that you might be able to cash in on and make some money. And then that'll do, I think. That'll sort of set you up for the new Football Manager 2016. We are using the final database, so this will be the same as the game launch. So first up, we're going to have a look at the vision of the board. So a lot of the times they'll say play possession football, play attacking football, etc, etc. All they want you to do is sign young players for the first team. I think that's good. I think most of us as football managers like to sign young players and develop them, so that sort of goes in line with that. Happy with that. Injuries. So these will be in the game when the game starts. Cabella's out for 2 months. Rivier's out for 3 months. Dummett's out for 4 months. Marvo's out for 8 weeks. And the Permhead Wonder is out for 3 weeks. So, yeah, a couple of injuries, but nothing too long term. It's horrible when you start a game and you've got 3 players out for 7 months, which is what I'm about to do with the Bournemouth guide, which is coming up next. And then what we'll do is we'll go into the boardroom and we'll look at what they actually want you to achieve this season. So, in the Premiership, they want you to get mid-table. I think that's definitely doable with Newcastle. We'll go through the team and then we'll sort of go from there. I haven't looked at all the players, so we'll work that out if it's possible. 5th round of the FA Cup. Yep, that's fine. And they don't care about the League Cup. And you've got no European football to concentrate. So I think these are achievable, but we'll look into the team. So you've got 8 million in the bank, and you have £700,000 to spend, and you're currently spending 1.1 on wages, and your wage budget is 1.1. Okay, so that's interesting. I quite like these sort of challenges, where you can't just spend £50 million. So you have to sell to buy. We'll remember that when we actually look through the first team to see what can be improving. Wow, this is quite bad. I'm not going to go through all the young players. It's pointless. I'll let you find any hidden gems, but yeah, it doesn't look good for the youth system at the moment. We'll have a quick look. Okay, he's not the worst. 16-year-old Ghanaian, plays at left back. His marking and heading are both sort of pretty poor, so he probably can't really play at centre back. Yeah, he's not very good. As I say in the other video, if you've watched any of the other videos, 2 of the sort of contributing factors to how well a player does and how fast he improves and to reach his possible potential is the work rate and determination. He's got the work rate, he just doesn't care. He's determination of 5. Other than that, he's got quite good mentals, decent pace for a 16-year-old. That'll improve, so as will the strength and stamina. Okay, he's not going to make it. Let's just move on. Under 21s. Okay, a little bit better here. I'm just going to go through the top one, I think. Like I said, have a look through here. There might be some other players. There's definitely a few players that you can get off the wage budget. Like Obertan, who's 30 grand. He's valued at 2 million. I think that's somebody that you could just cash in on. Gives you a little bit of money to spend. Is there any other high value players in the team? Not really. Rolando Aarons, it's not too bad. Might be worth loaning out, or just, he's 19. I'll probably loan him out, to be honest, and give him a chance to improve. So our big sort of star player that's out on loan at the moment is Adam Armstrong, striker, can play behind as well and on the wing. I probably wouldn't play him there. 18 years old, currently out on loan at Coventry. Really good pacey striker, decent determination and work rate. He's only 18 years old. This guy could get really good. This is I like his overall stats. There's nothing spectacular at this age, but nothing that needs that's just sort of game breaking that will mean he can't reach his level. He's good finishing, first touch. Let's have a look at him if I was playing as a poacher. Anticipation, he's got all the stats. He has got all the stats. I do like him very much. Headings, obviously the issue, so he's not a target man, but that's fine. I would definitely keep a close eye on this guy. He's on loan for the season at Coventry. I'd make sure he's getting game time. If not, give the Coventry manager a slap, and then get him back. Give him some game time, get him some tutoring, something like that, and work on him, because he could be a quality player. We won't go through all these other ones. We'll let you decide. So on to the main squad. So I won't go through all some of the obvious ones that are good players. We'll just go through sort of some of the others, and then we'll look at any weaknesses, maybe the areas that you need to improve on first. So we'll start off with the goalkeepers. Got Krull the Conqueror as a goalkeeper. He's decent. He's a average Premiership goalkeeper, I'd say. Goalkeepers can be hard to buy, so I probably wouldn't. You haven't got the money to spend at the moment, so you only really should be looking to, in the first season, replace really weak areas of your team. And he's definitely not weak. He's fine. So I definitely keep him. And you've got Carl Darlow as your backup. He's a 24-year-old English kid. He's not that great. He's never going to be a world beater, but he's a decent backup goalkeeper and can play in the cup games. So that's fine, goalkeepers. At right back, we have our options are limited to Daryl Janmaat, really good player, really attacking right back. He's definitely someone that you could train to become a monstrous wing back if you were to use that position. But even at full back, absolutely beastie player. Still only 25, he's got room to improve, one of your best players at the club. So, yeah, don't sell, first choice, easy. Then we've got Mbemba, who is a centre-back and right-back. He's not very attacking, his crossing lets him down here. His dribbling's okay. He's got decent enough pace. He could be a decent right back with some work on his crossing, depending on how attacking. Obviously, off the ball's a bit limited. But he's only 20 years old. Determination and work rate are both good. I think he could be a quality player. Let's have a look at him at centre back. Again, decent player. I think he's definitely worth keeping. 20 years old, can't go wrong with that. He'll do as a backup right back. Just remember he's not quite as attacking as Janmaat. At left back we have Haidara. He's 22 years old, French, under 21 international. Pretty good stats. Another very attacking player. Good pace, acceleration. He can also cross the ball. Good first touch. I quite like him. Decent determination. Good work rate. Yeah, can improve a lot. Yeah, I really like him. He's a good player. I don't think he's going to be a world beater, but he'll do you for a good few seasons. He definitely doesn't need replacing straight away. And your backup is Paul Dummett, who can play as central defence as well. He's okay. He's 23 years old. Remember, he's out for 4 months, so you've got to worry about that. He's good. He's a good backup left back. But remember, you won't have him for 4 months, so, you know, be careful. If Haidara gets injured, you've got no one to replace him. Literally no one. Maybe a loan signing to cover the gap, or you get a youngster through. It's up to you. Next, we'll go on to centre-backs. I think this is maybe where you're weakest, just from looking at it. Yeah, if Colaccini is your best centre-back, you've probably got issues. No offence, Newcastle fans. So Colaccini's here. In FM, he's really good. His mentals are great. So he's your captain, as you can see by the work rate, the teamwork, the leadership. 10 pace, so he's still hanging on to his pace. That's like on the verge of bad, but it's okay. He might get caught a couple of times. Let's have a look at his positioning. 16, so that does help him. Anticipation is 14, so that helps with his lack of pace. His heading's not great. 12 heading's a slight issue, but tackling and marking are both good. He's a good all-round player. I definitely keep him for this season and maybe look to start replacing him next season. Next up, you've got the legendary Mike Williamson. Doesn't even sound right, don't He's one of those players that has the sort of stats like tackling, marking, heading. That's what he does. That's what I do. I'm Mark Williams. I just head stuff, tackle, jumping, strength. So you go, okay, that's good. His pace is bad. He's also 31. Acceleration is bad. Off the ball is poor. Anticipation is just about okay. Decision making is just about okay. He's not worth much money. I'd keep him as a backup. Because I would sell him if he was worth more, but he's not. I would have him as a backup for this season, then just probably let his contract run out. To be honest, 31 years old. Stephen Taylor, been at Newcastle for feels like forever. Literally is forever. Kind of similar to Williamson, to be honest. He's the sort of main technical stats he's got. He's a little bit more pacier, which is good. High work rate, high bravery. He's gonna go in for those big tackles. Again, anticipation's 12, decision making's 12, positioning's 14. That's okay. They're a little bit on the weak side. His strength is okay. He's actually an alright player. I think that he's slightly undervalued by the scouts. I think he'll be fine. He's 29 years old. He's 3.5 million. He'll maybe be your third choice, depending on how good this guy is. I think. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Lascalis. I do apologise. 21-year-old Englishman. So we've got a nice youngster in there, which is nice. You need some life into that centre back. So you've got a lot. It's like an OAP club at the moment. Decent young defender. He's going to improve. He's got good determination. Work rate's okay. He's a good all-rounder. Nothing spectacular. So let's go back and look. So if you were saying Colaccini is your main centre-back for this season, I would then have... Because the member's good, but he's also your backup right-back. So it's a tricky one, that, because you've got sort of three averagely crap players. I'd probably get rid of one of these. Either loan this one out, Jamal, we'll just call him, and maybe get a first choice centre back. I think is definitely exactly. That's definitely where you're weakest. That's quite horrifically bad, and you've only got one young player. Got a member as well. But yeah, that's the first area we need strengthening. So we'll move on to the defensive midfield side. So we've got Vernon Anita, who's a centre midfielder. We're mainly concentrating on the defensive midfielder. He can play quite comfortably as a defensive midfielder. He's got the tackling's okay, the marking's okay, and he can play as a deep line playmaker. So he's quite decent. Decent all-rounder. 26 years old. Decent squad player. He's not going to set the world alight. Czech Tiote. I love this kid. He's a bit of a nutcase. He's going to get sent off a few times. Remember that. Aggression 18. Shoots from distance. I don't like this. Tries to play his way out of trouble. Not a fan of that as a defensive midfielder. Other than that, he's a really good defensive midfielder. Good enough pace. He'll work all day. Yeah, he's fine. He'd be sort of probably my first choice defensive midfielder, with maybe Anita as sort of backup. And then we've got Jack Colback. He's alright. He's a kind of good all-rounder. He's got no real massive strengths and no real weaknesses. Can play as defensive and central. He's an alright player. He's worth 8 million. So that'd be quite interesting. He is wanted, which is quite interesting. Watford are looking for him. That's quite interesting. Because remember, we're trying to look for money. We need a centre-back, so we need to raise some money. So he could possibly be an option to go. He's not going to improve much. Or you could, if you wanted to keep the English guy, you could go for Anita. he didn't come in this season. Yeah, he's been at the club 4 seasons now. So I would maybe look to sell one of those 2, possibly. But that's saying that you haven't got much in midfield either. Well, let's have a look at the other ones. So we've got René Cabella, who is currently on loan at Olympique Marseille. When he comes back, he'll be a really good player. In FM, he shouldn't be loaned out. He's really good. I know real life he's had issues. Really versatile. Play on the wings and behind the front man. Even up front at a push. He would be okay up front if needed. So when he comes back, he'll definitely be in your squad. Gouffran. He's alright. He's a kind of a no real strengths or weaknesses type player. Can play on both wings. He's at the peak of his powers. He's 29 years old. He's not going to get any better. 6 million. Yeah, he's okay. Wijnaldum. Really like this guy in real life. I wish we'd signed him at Liverpool. Really versatile. Plays all the way down the centre. Can play on the left and right at a push. But you could easily train him there. He's right-footed. Depending on how you want to. Cuts inside from the left wing, that's good. So we could be looking at inside forward. Yeah, that makes most sense. Good finishing. That's probably where I'd play him. 24 years old. He's got good room to improve. He's got no weak points whatsoever. Nothing particularly outstanding, but quality player. I really like him. Definitely your first choice. Murasa Sissoko, another sort of central midfield option. And can play right wing. Really good mentals. Absolutely outstanding mentals, really. 25 years old. Everything else is, there's no real sort of weak points there. Positioning only, but that, and he could comfortably play as a, he could comfortably play as centre midfield. Definitely keeping him. I would probably try both positions, see where he's most comfortable, and obviously where you need to fit him. Florian I don't know how to pronounce it, guy. Was it Thalvin? Okay, him. He's another attacking midfielder, can play all the way across the front, and is a good player. 22 years old, so a nice, good youth player. He's got decent determination, alright work rate. He's not the strongest player. He's going to get bumped off the ball a little bit. Shoots with power, runs with ball often. That's good. First touch, dribbling, flair. So he's going to work some magic on the wings, I think. Would be his best bet there. Long shots is okay. No sort of defensive minded at all. Don't give him any defensive duties. Teamwork is not great. Positioning, he's not a leader. Concentration is okay. So he might go missing in the odd game, but I think he's got a really bright future. Sylvain Marvo. 29 years old, attacking midfielder, centre. Alright, he's alright. What do you say about this guy, really? Really weird, randomly, no strength whatsoever. Not defensively minded at all. I'll maybe look to sell this guy. He went on loan last season. Yeah, I'd probably sell him. He's worth 4 million. You might get 6 if no, probably not. Maybe 5, 6, hopefully. Unless we haven't got any other players, then maybe Sim De Jong, attacking midfielder centre. Great mentals. That's ridiculously good. That is. 26 years old, really good player. His physicals aren't amazing, but nothing. There's no sort of weak points in there, and. Yeah, plays best as a shadow striker. You don't get many of those, obviously. Can play up front as well. Good option to come on from the bench, I think, being that he could play up front as well. But couldn't start games as well. If that's how many sort of attacking midfielders have we got? Sort of centrally, we've not got that many. So Perez, absolute beastly. This is your main man. This is the guy you have to keep hold of. He's worth 15 million. He's wanted. By fucking Man City. Call it. So here's your options. We have no transfer budget, right? So you either sell a couple of your fringy players, maybe drag in about 15 million to spend on a centre back, and maybe one other position as a sort of youngster or something. Or if you want to rebuild from the first season, maybe this is a guy you can sell. He's worth 15. You've got Man City interested. So we're talking, I'm hoping you would be talking at least 30 million. Me personally, I'd 100% keep him. But it all depends on how much you like to rebuild at the beginning of a season. That could be your option. Because remember, you have Mitrovic as well, which is he's a quality player. So so I think you've got to play 2 up top with Mitrovic. If you're playing 1 up top, then maybe it's more of an option because you've got Mitrovic. We'll go have a look into him. So we've got Papa Cisse. I'd sell him. He's okay. There's nothing particularly wrong with him. If you're playing 2 up top, then maybe you keep him just because you need the sort of strength and depth. If I'm playing 1 up top, I'm 100% selling him. So on 45 grand a week, you can get 6-7 mil for him. Yeah, that's what I do. Riviere, striker, 25 years old, not that good. Decent backup striker, I think. Really, his pace is his main strength. He's out for 3 months, but yeah, acceleration, pace. I'm not a big fan of strikers also that move into channels, especially if he's playing as a lone striker and then he fucks off to the corner flag. Well, what use is that? He's never going to make the grade. I think he'll do you as a backup. He's not earning a great deal, so definitely. And then we've got Alexander Mitrovic. He's a little angry fella, but he's a good player. And you can see that in his aggression 18, his best stat. Strength and aggression. Yeah, he should have gone to the UFC. But I do like this guy in real life. He's kind of a... If like Diego Costa's like top arsehole, right, as a striker that's angry and fucks about, like Mitrovic is the sort of little bit friendlier version. Not by a massive deal, I don't think, but I do like him. Quality player. I think he's got a few mentals that let him down. He doesn't work hard. Teamwork, positioning, determination. He's going to struggle to reach his full potential with those stats, and he might go missing in the odd game. But I still think he's a quality player, and he's worth 10 million. I think when we were talking about the lone striker role, if you decided that you wanted to rebuild a bit more, you could look at... I know this is going to be sacrilege probably to the Newcastle... You've only just bought him, so you can't sell him anyway. But maybe next season, keep Perez... And then, if you needed the money, go sell Mitrovic. If you're playing a lone striker, if you're playing 2 strikers, these 2 guys are going to make it a fantastic partnership. So, to sort of sum up, basically, your goalkeepers are fine, your midfield's okay, your striking is absolutely amazing, your defence is shit. Which, you know, if you're a Newcastle fan watching this, you know these things. Yeah, the defence needs work. You need to bring in a first-choice centre-back to partner Colaccini, and then Colaccini is also going to need to be replaced next season with none of these players, I don't think. Jamal maybe, but yeah. So I think I would sell probably Jack Colback, and then maybe one other player if you can squeeze out a team, or Papa Cisse. So yeah, so if you got... Let's say 6 million for Papa Cisse. We'll just go on actual value. So 14 million from those 2 players. You buy a decent centre back for that. 14 million, you'll get a great centre back. So, and then you're set for the first season, I think, pretty much. I think that about sums up the video. Thank you very much for joining me, guys. I'm going to be moving on to Bournemouth, the mighty Bournemouth next. I think that'll be quite a popular one in FM because of how small they are. It's definitely a club. I think Newcastle have got a great squad. I think they can achieve the goals that set mid-table with this team. With that strike force, mid-tables are 100% doable. You're just going to need to bring in a defender, I think. If you have, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Tell me what you think of the guys. Maybe who's underrated, or who the centre back should be that you bring in. That'd be quite an interesting discussion. Please like and comment and subscribe and stuff. That would be wonderful. Thank you so much for all the support of a brand new YouTube channel. I'm so grateful. I do apologise for the background noise. That is my computer. It sounds like a plane taking off. That will be fixed in the next 2 weeks when I get a new one. Thank you very much, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.